So I'm still caulking and stuff. I still got some more to do up there. I've got a whole day here all by myself. I was planning on doing this yesterday, but there was something else that I had to work on yesterday. I put my electrician hat on, and if you want to watch that, I guess I can make a video of that now. I'll make this the next episode, why I had to be an electrician yesterday, and it had to do with the plumbers. Oh yeah. Well, what's this episode about anyway? Well, if you saw the title, it has to do with a tankless water heater, and there it is. The plumbers did a really good job installing it yesterday. Oh, ooh. And I just wanted to kind of show you this and tell you why I had to put my electrician's hat on yesterday, because the plumbers don't know much about electrical work. Let me tell you, and of course that wasn't included in his cost. Well, see, this unit, remember the water heater? If you watched one of the previous episodes, we had a 40-gallon water heater here. A gas water heater was hooked up to the gas right here, and that water heater was really small, and the dielectric unions were all rusty, and there was a top little canister thing that needed to be replaced. And we thought, well, instead of doing that, and the plumber said, hey, because you have a jacuzzi bathtub in one of your bathrooms, the 40-gallon water heater was not going to be big enough anyways. And so I said, well, what about putting a 60-gallon water heater in there? Even that would have kind of been questionable for a jacuzzi tub, washing machine, dishwasher, 2 bathrooms, 2 showers, and all that kind of stuff. And plus, he said this opening would have to be bigger, because I only have a clearance of 19 inches as it was. He was barely able to fit the 40-gallon water heater out of here after he dumped all the water out. He said, man, that was tricky. So see, he wouldn't have been able to get a bigger one up. And so another reason why we decided to put the tankless water system in, and that's what it looks like. Now there's all different kinds of water systems, tankless water systems. There's some that are smaller than this. I don't know why he chose this one. All I can think of, because when Momi saw it, she said, oh man, that's a big one, because she used to have one at a different house that was way smaller. But you know, I think she had a smaller condo, and it didn't have a jacuzzi tub, and it probably had one shower in it, 1 bathroom and 1 half bath or something. This has 2 bathrooms and a half bath. So look around if you're thinking about getting a tankless water system. This is kind of what it looks like. And this was a gas one, and they hooked it up with the gas. Here's the yellow line for the gas, and he was able to utilize everything that was here, because this was the water, the main well, one of these was a water line. Oh, that's a pressure relief valve. See, it goes off of there, and that's for that. And that was up there because of the water heater from before. See, and here's the main water line coming in, one going out. They used to have plastic stuff nowadays. See that? That was inside the condo. Whoever plumbed this condo 15 years ago, that was something fairly new. And I think all water lines nowadays, they don't run copper lines anymore. They run the plastic stuff. But anywho, the guy said, oh, hey, one thing, we need to plug this in. And see, here's his cord. It only takes 2 amps. Whatever electrical is needed in here, even though it's gas, whatever electrical is needed in that, they needed to plug it into someplace. The only plug up here is way over here. Look at this. That's for the heating and the heating system, and the condensate pump right here is for this heating system. We can talk, well, I can talk about that on another video. Okay, well, I'm not going to really discuss that in detail, but anyways, he needed some electrical over here, so I'm like, oh brother, where am I gonna get power? And at first I was looking at the lights, and at first he said, oh, maybe I can just plug into this. Maybe you can just plug into that. And here's the thing. When you have this cord that's on a tankless water system, you cannot, technically by code, and we made sure that he got a permit on this project, and he's going to have to call the inspector and meet him out here next week, and the inspector's going to come make sure this is all up to snuff and all that kind of stuff. You cannot plug this into an extension cord and then run it over willy-nilly to anything. And see, even if that was close enough, which it's not because this is way down here, even if it was close enough, you can't really plug it into a light like that, because see, when I turn this light switch off, the light goes off. Now, the plumber was saying, well, when the light's on, here, we'll just leave the light switch on and we'll do the pull chain. We'll leave that off. Now there's power to this, right? Well, that's if that cord would have fit, let's say. Well, it doesn't. And no, I don't think the inspector would allow that, because that's on this light switch. Because if somebody comes up here and they turn that light switch off, then guess what? The power goes off to that. Okay? And so we couldn't hook it up to that. And then later I thought, well, now see over here, see this? It says future light. They did somebody a good favor here. You really only need one light in a little attic like this. But they ran this, and this is connected to that. Okay? And I thought, okay, you know, that cord might possibly be long enough to zip up this way and come over here. So I pulled this down, and I thought, you know, usually when I run power for a light switch, I'll run the main power coming into that light switch first, and then I run another Romex cable from there up to the light. Okay? And that's how I do it. It's way easier to figure everything out. Well, some electricians, depending on how they were taught, or depending where the main power is coming from, they might be working up in the attic or something, and they might say, oh, I'm going to run the power to the light, one of the lights. Then, so the main power always is up here. And then they run the black and white Romex cable, has a black and white wire, and then they use the white wire as a black wire as a feeder to go back and forth. Okay, if you don't know much about electrical, I might be confusing you, but anywho, I thought okay, they've either got power up in one of these boxes, the main power, and then that goes down to the light switch, or the main power goes from the light switch on up to here. And I figured it all out, turned the power off, disconnected the wires up there, took my wire tester, turned the breaker back on, had that switch off. There were no hot wires here. Turned the light switch on, and then one pair of wires up here were on. So I knew the power was coming from the light switch on up to here. So even if this cord, this pigtail on this water system was long enough, I was not going to take the chance to come out of this box and come down and then have the inspector shut it down and say, nope, can't do that. So I thought, what else could I do?